Hello and good morning. Welcome along to the latest team presentation of 2026. And it is the penultimate team presentation of 2026. Today it is the turn of LCR Honda as Diogo Moreira and Johann Zarco pull the covers off their 2026 RC213Vs. As always, you can get in touch with us via MotoGP social media channels. Let us know your thoughts on the livery once it is revealed. Let us know any questions you might have for the season ahead or anything you'd want to mention in general. You can get in touch with us along MotoGP social media channels. Here we can see some of the first ones already coming in. Let's go, and a big hello from Greece comes from Charis Koumakis. Hello to you. And well, clearly we have a fan base in Greece, as we do all across the world. Hi from France, a Johann Zarco fan, no doubt. Hello from Singapore. So, a truly international audience watching along today as we get ready to see the machines that Johann Zarco and Diogo Moreira will be riding. Let's hope that both Zarco and Morera will have a good season. That comes from Tough Boy Mason. And indeed, it is going to be interesting to see how both of these riders fare on the LCR Honda team. Both riders in the exceptional situation this year of having contracts that extend into 2027, so it's maybe a little bit less pressure on them this year. We'll get more into that very shortly, but let's just remind ourselves of our pre-season so far. 10 presentations, 8 of them done. Tomorrow is the final presentation. That will be the factory Honda team where Luca Marini and Joan Mir reveal their bikes. But today, it is the turn of LCR Honda. Indeed, it is the turn of LCR Honda, who have Johann Zarco and Diogo Moreira flying the flag for them this year. Let's start with Johann Zarco, who was the top Honda in last year's championship. The French rider comes into this as the eldest rider on the grid, but shows no signs of slowing down. And let us know your thoughts. Will Zarco once again finish as the top Honda in 2026? He finished 12th in last year's championship, which was enough to be the top of the Japanese brand's standings. Of course, he had a couple of superb results along the way. Most notably, that came in France, in Le Mans, where he was the first rider since 1954 to win a French GP on home soil. Let's remind ourselves of some of those scenes at the time.
La première fois qu'on gagne. Ouais. Bravo. Quel cadeau il vous fait.
Yeah, what truly special memories they were. Not just for Johann Zarco, for everybody watching on, as he was the first French rider to win on home soil in nearly 70 years. And he did it as well in front of his parents, who were attending a GP for the first time, if I remember correctly. So really, really emotional scenes. And I do remember it was an absolutely cracking race as well, a flag-to-flag thriller. But it was no flash in the pan from Zarco. He was on the podium the week before, while in the weeks leading up to that, he was constantly threatening the top 4, top 5, top 6 places. And now his form did drop off somewhat during the midway season of 2025. but he recovered towards the end and picked up the strong results again. So he'll be hoping to bring that form over to the 2026 season, pick up a little bit more silverware along the way. Let's take a look at some of the comments coming in from you guys. Le Mans 2025 was a legendary race. It truly was. Le Mans always brings out the best of the riders and tests them, particularly in the flag to flag races we have there, as the weather tends to play havoc. So let's take a look at the poll. Will Zarco finish as the top Honda in 2026? 100% of you believe that he will. So the most experienced rider aboard a Honda machine you feel will be the top Honda once again. And it could be hard to disagree with you. We did see Johann Mir and Luca Marini really pick up results towards the tail end of 2025. Mir on the podium, of course, twice on the Asian Flyaway Tours. But Zarco is the benchmark for most of you at the Honda on the Honda team. It'll be interesting to see as well. He is partnered with Diogo Moreira in 2026, so we'll see how that will affect the elder statesman of the grid. Zarco, he's already made a lifetime worth of memories at 1GP. That was his second win in France, the previous one coming after 120 attempts. That was in 2023 at the Australian GP. 166 races so far in his MotoGP career, 2 wins, 23 podiums to his name. So it seems many of you are expecting him to add to those numbers. Now, we've mentioned Johann Zarco. We mentioned it briefly as well about the season launch. You saw the video at the start of this show. That is just around the corner. February 7th, it all starts here in Kuala Lumpur, and what a party that promises to be. All the MotoGP riders in attendance, along with some world-famous musicians, the Script, who are very well known across the world, as well as the DJ Posa, will be getting the party underway in Kuala Lumpur. And the party may have already started for Diogo Moreira. Morera, who was just in that shakedown test, finished 6th overall, is getting ready for his debut season in MotoGP. The Moto2 World Champion was crowned the Moto2 World Champion in Valencia last year, and he did get that seat ahead of some of the Moto2 rivals. So we do ask you, will Morera be the Rookie of the Year? He steps up from the intermediate class this year and will be in direct competition with none other than the 3-time World Superbike Champion Toprak Razgatlioglu of Prima Pramac Racing. Both of those riders eagerly anticipating their debut in Thailand, and what a battle for the Rookie of the Year it promises to be. So let us know your thoughts. Will it be Morera, who is the Rookie of the Year in 2025? Vote yes, or 2026 rather. Vote yes if you think it is, or vote no if you think Toprak will be the top rider. So we mentioned that Morera is the Moto2 World Champion. He was crowned in Valencia at the tail end of last season. Let's remind ourselves of some of the celebrations from that day.
Absolutely brilliant by Diogo Moreira. This was the moment Diogo Moreira siding his way through on a cruising and slowing and a touring Manu Gonzalez. Diogo Moreira, who will be your 2025 Moto2 World Champion. He becomes the first Brazilian ever to win a Grand Prix title. He will be in MotoGP next season as your Moto2 World Champion.
Gracias, tío, gracias. Nos vemos pronto. Nos vemos en 2 días.
Dios. Vamos, ¿Has visto cómo se podía, tío?
Sí, sí.
Vamos. Dios.
Cuando vi la bandera a cuadros ya empecé a llorar, sobre todo pensando en lo que hemos sufrido, ¿no? Desde que vine a España, pues es difícil, ¿no? Solo tengo que disfrutar del momento y intentar pues, estar con los míos ahora. Ya está, me hacéis llorar demasiado.
How about those celebrations then in Valencia? A hugely emotional day for our first ever Brazilian world champion, Diogo Moreira. And what are your promises to be for the young Brazilian? Not is it just his debut campaign in MotoGP, but for the first time, I think, in 22 years, the sport itself and the paddock will return to Brazil for the Brazilian GP. That is round 2 of this year's campaign. We asked you, do you think Morera will be the Rookie of the Year? And this is an interesting one. 65% of you believe it will be Diogo Moreira. 35% of you believe it will be Toprak Razgatlioglu. So there you go. Some favouring the Honda rider over the Turkish rider. So it'll be interesting to see how Morera does adapt to the RC213V and the demands of MotoGP. I mentioned earlier he finished 6th on the timesheets in the shakedown test, where Aleix Espargaro was the top rider there, and Aleix saying that the Honda was the best bike he has ever ridden. This year's version of the Honda, that is. So certainly some big improvements made from the Japanese manufacturer. We, of course, will know more about the standard of the Honda when it goes up against the Ducatis, the Aprilias and KTMs in the Sepang test, in the Buriram test, but most importantly of all, during the Grand Prix races this year. So, some comments coming in. We're hoping for the best for Morera. I believe many of us are. It's going to be so great to see a Brazilian rider riding on home soil in 2026. The first Brazilian to compete in MotoGP since Alex Barros. Here we go, a big Diogo Moreira fan. Yes, Diogo Moreira, the number 11, coming from Renero Mero. A big Diogo Moreira fan. And of course, Diogo switching over from the number 10 that he has worn through his Moto2 and Moto3 days to the number 11, another famous number for Brazil, the number 11 in 2026, the number 10 already occupied by Luca Marini. The poll continues on, and even more of you now are in favour of Morera over Toprak. 67% of you believe it will go the way of the LCR Honda rider, and the number 11 will be crowned Rookie of the Year in 2026. It's going to be an interesting battle for sure between both Toprak and Morera, both on the Japanese bikes of the Yamaha and the Honda, both bikes on the upward trajectory after a couple of very difficult years. You would have to say maybe that the Honda is a little bit ahead in terms of development right now. You saw Johann Zarco's results last year. Of course, Fabio Quartararo was on the podium in Spain and picked up, I think, 5 pole positions in general. But he just couldn't convert it into Sunday silverware on most of those weekends, where the Honda seemed to just have that little bit more pace across the board than the Yamaha. Some more comments coming in. Diogo, Rookie of the Year. One of Diogo Moreira's fans there getting involved in the poll. Believe it will be the Brazilian who will best Toprak Razgatlioglu. Now, when you are going to the circuit, you definitely want to enjoy the best way possible, and you can do that via MotoGP's hospitality, the premium hospitality at every race. Find out more about that on MotoGPpremier.motogp.com. It is certainly a wonderful way to enjoy a weekend at the circuit, whichever circuit you choose. Just being at the circuit in general is an absolute treat all across the world, whichever one you choose. So if you do it MotoGP Premier, why not treat yourself and do it in style? So it is just about enough you've heard from me. We're going to first go back to Johann Zarco and LCR Honda Castrol as Zarco pulls the cover off of his livery for 2026.
Magnifique, it is Vive la France from Johann Zarco. He wins the French Grand Prix for the first time in over 7
I'm Johann Zarco. I was 9 years old when I jumped on the bike for the first time. I'm now 35 and I race for Castrol Honda LCR team. So many people tell me, hey Zarco, number 1, numero uno, they say in Italian. But I say no, I'm just number 5 and this number is my race number since I'm 15. My racing career in number is 304 races, 64 podiums and 18 victories across the 3 categories of the World Championship, and I got 2 world titles in Moto2. What I remember from my first race in MotoGP is this desire to start super fast, because I knew all these super guys are very fast on the start. And I started pretty fast because I was leading the race for 6 laps and I crashed. So this is the first remember of my first MotoGP race. Over my 9 years in MotoGP, I have raced on 4 different brands, and this helped me to give many information and get a lot of experience to help my team to work better. My MotoGP stats are 23 podiums and 2 victories, but most of all 1 victory at the French GP last year in Le Mans, and this will remain in the memory of everyone for a very long time. During 2025 season, we have reached results that we could not even expect, with the victory in the French GP and a nice podium, 2nd position in Silverstone. To keep talking about numbers, since my contract with Honda, I have raced twice in the 8 Hours of Suzuka. This is an endurance race, and I'm so proud that I've won twice this event. Beyond racing, I have other passions for sure. I love music, I play a bit of guitar. And I keep training almost every day, so sport is a passion too. I play a bit of golf, I love doing snowboarding, enjoying paddle with friends, cycling, running, hiking. That's many things that I really appreciate, and it keeps me fit for the motorbike. By doing all these activities, I love doing backflip too, and it becomes my signature when I win a race. And this is pretty nice to do it in front of the crowd when I have this opportunity. Even if I love to do a lot of things, try many different sports, and love the music, motorbikes remains the main passion. And I try to train at least 1 time a week, because during the races, the 22 races of the season, we don't have a lot of time, but we try to calculate, and we have more or less 20,000 kilometers full throttle around the year, and that's quite awesome. 2026 season will be my 18th year in the World Championship. I'm super proud of this number, and I'm full motivated to keep pushing.
Magnifique, it is Vive la France from Johann Zarco.
I like it. We have always the main Castrol color, I love it. But then we had a bit of black and blue. It's kind of cool. Also the leather suit with a bit more black, I like it. I would love to win again and catch few podiums. I think the biggest learn I got with my 2 years with LCR and now going into my 3rd year, always keep calm because season is long, and calm helps to control better. I think I would say keep pushing, keep trusting, things can go pretty well. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the work. And thank you so much for your help. Now the season has officially started.
Well, there you have it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, but you can certainly improve upon it. I've always been a fan of the Castrol LCR Honda livery. It's always had that classic green, white and red, and now, this year, it's got some accents of blue and a little bit darker black as well. So Johann Zarco, clearly a fan of it. We heard from the French rider himself and his aims for the year ahead. A little bit more silverware, he hopes, on the horizon for him. Some of the comments coming in from the fans, and I have to agree here with Ali Famir. Wow, absolute fire, and I am a huge fan of this livery. The darker accents of black as well just add so much to it. We can see it there on the front wings as well, just a little bit of black accent, while the number is with blue, forming a bit of the French flag in some parts of it for their French stalwart. So what is on the horizon for Zarco this year? You heard him, just to keep pushing as hard as he can. He'd love another win. He'd love some more podiums. And if he can find some of that form he showed during 2025's campaign, well, I think it would take a brave person to bet against him. He is just such a quality rider, and he's shown it across different bikes. He found his home at Ducati for a number of years, and he's taken all that experience from his time at KTM and Yamaha as well and brought it to Honda as he helps develop the RC213V package. A win, of course, as we mentioned, at the French GP, and it was at Silverstone where he picked up those back-to-back podiums. We heard from Zarco himself during that presentation, but we can get a bit more of a direct word with him now. This was what Johann had to say to our reporter on the ground in Sepang.
Johann, here we are after the team presentation. It's your 10th season in MotoGP, so what's your goal?
Our goal is to still dream about victories. I got a magic victory last year, which with the Honda project I did not really expect to win at least a race. So yeah, now with the many years of experience, I know that the dream is to fight for a world title, but I don't know if it's still doable, so at least catch opportunities of podiums.
Honda has been already testing here in Sepang at the shakedown. How do you see the performance so far of the Honda for 2026 season?
I'm very pleased with the performance of the new Honda. The comments of the riders is pretty good too. Aleix Espargaro has been very fast, but Diogo is adapting very well, and you can see the lap time is fast too. So at least bike is fast, lap time is fast. So this gives great hopes for 26 season.
On Tuesday you faced the first test of the 2026 season. How much are you looking forward to it, and do you have already a testing plan?
Testing plan for sure we have, and the team is still working on it to adjust a few things. And then after the winter break, it's always a pleasure to be back in Malaysia, go on the bike. We know it's going to be very warm, but we have a bit of time to get back in the pace and try at least to find this great feeling to keep it to start well the season.
Thank you very much, Johann. Good luck for this season.
Yeah, absolutely love that from Johann Zarco. The dream is still to fight for the World Championship. He still holds the highest ambitions, entering into his 18th season in the MotoGP paddock and 10th in MotoGP. Absolutely incredible longevity for the French rider. Viva Zarco, says Catherine Fry-No. The number 5 having plenty of fans all across the world, and of course plenty of fans in his homeland of France as they all celebrated a magnificent victory there last year. Zarco is the king, says Indy Cody. And well, he may not have been the king of MotoGP yet, but he's been a 2-time world champion as well, and generally just a king of a guy. Really interesting to see what he can achieve on this year's package. And as he mentioned, Aleix Espargaro and Diogo Moreira both very quick during Sepang's shakedown test. Lap times already going quicker than last year's test and indeed during the GP itself. I mentioned earlier Aleix Espargaro came out and speaking glowingly about this year's package, so it'll be super interesting to see what Zarco can do once he finally gets his hands on this year's bike. That will of course be next week during the Sepang test. Then there will be the Buriram test as well, but it all comes down to the real business on a Grand Prix weekend. Zarco on that bike, I would not bet against him getting an opportunity to be on that podium again. Now, one of the key people in Zarco's corner is, of course, Lucho Cecchinello, the team boss over at LCR Honda. This is what he had to say on the French rider.
Lucho, we are here after the team presentation for 2026. First, talking about Johann, we would like to know if the collaboration with Honda in the development of the bike with Johann is going to be the same as last year.
As last 2 years, Johann has a direct factory rider contract with Honda HRC, and we are pleased to have him in our team. It's going to be another very exciting year for sure. It will be very challenging, of course, but we will continue to do our best to fight for the top position, like we have done last year.
How do you see the performance of the Honda so far? Because we have had the shakedown test. I mean, there are some signs to be positive.
Absolutely. The bike is keeping improving. Honda engineers are doing a really great job. They are making a big effort to make the bike more and more competitive. I believe that this year is the year to finally be more constant on top.
And Lucho, before we were talking with Johann, and he told us that the objective, the goal for this season is again to taste the victory as you did in that amazing weekend that you had in the French GP last season. Do you think it's possible another, again, to be on the top of the podium, at least for one?
You know, in MotoGP we have seen that anything can happen. The races are really exciting for that reason, that you know, any rider can have the chance to win. Having said that, I have to be realistic. I don't want to say that last year, at a certain point of the season, we've been fifth in the championship, and I believe that would be a great result if we could finish the season on the top 5. That definitely, and that would be definitely a very good result for us.
Well, there you have it. Fighting talk from Lucho Cecchinello, aiming for a top 5 finish in the championship, while he says this year is the year for Honda to be back on top. So, clearly a lot of confidence in the LCR Honda garage and indeed the wider Honda factory as a whole. This is what we've been waiting for the most. Indeed, it has been a superb livery from Johann Zarco, and now it looks like he has a bike to go with it to compete for silverware. Cannot wait for Tuesday test. You are not alone, Marcelo. We are all super excited to see all MotoGP riders back on track. And of course, we all have our favourites, and you can gear up for the 2026 season and get decked out in the gear of your favourites with some merchandise. Head on over to store.motogp.com to pick out some very cool merchandise in support of your favourite riders. Now, we've already had Johann Zarco pull the covers off of his Honda Castrol machine, LCR machine, and now it is the turn of Diogo Moreira.
But it is Diogo Moreira who will be your 2025 Moto2 World Champion.
I'm Diogo Moreira. I was born in Guarulhos in 2004. I'm a second son of Luis and Sandra, and Rafael is my older brother. I grew up watching motorbikes because my father was a rider and my mentor. At 12 years old, we moved to Spain. We left everything behind because I had a dream.
Para Diogo Moreira.
I arrived with my father and my mom comes later. I was just a kid, but I knew my dream. I'm grateful for the unconditional support of my family and everyone along the way. It began as a game, then started to be more professional. When I ride the bike, I feel like something special in my body, the speed, the energy. I feel more free and alive, so it's nice. I enjoy a lot learning the circuits and achieve the best results, and I had the opportunity to be in the championship. I was Rookie of the Year Moto3, then Rookie of the Year Moto2. And finally, many years working a lot, I became world champion in Moto2. That was the first dream.
But it is Diogo Moreira who will be your 2025 Moto2 World Champion. It's history for Morera. He becomes the first Brazilian ever to win a Grand Prix title.
This is my first dream and I achieved, so now we need to keep working, and I have one more dream to achieve. The countdown is over. After the world title in Moto2, I become a MotoGP rider.
Wow, from Diogo Moreira, almost around the outside, he'll cut to the inside now, the Brazilian.
I'm the new Pro Honda LCR MotoGP rider.
The Brazilian.
It's nice, no? The colors, and also with the yellow is my color, so looks super nice the bike, and I hope to stay on the front. So yeah, ride for Pro Honda is super nice. It's a special opportunity for me this year, and I hope to enjoy this opportunity, and let's see. I will say just one goal, just enjoy the bike, enjoy the moment, no, with the team, and we'll arrive. We need to understand the new bike, but yeah, we need to enjoy.
How about that for a team presentation? The Samba show has come to MotoGP in 2026, and what a year it's going to be for Diogo Moreira. What a year it is going to be for Brazilian motorsports in general. This MotoGP returning to Guyana and to Brazil for the first time in 22 years, with a Brazilian rider, and what a livery that is on the Pro Honda LCR machine. So Diogo Moreira clearly delighted to have made the step up this year. The Moto2 World Champion looks like a real star in the making, and I, for one, cannot wait to see him on track during the first GP of the weekend in Buriram, and of course during GP number 2 in Brazil. What a weekend that is going to be. Let us know your thoughts on the livery in the chat section. There we have one gorgeous coming from Rees Doe, and I have to agree, LCR Honda have knocked it out of the park with both of these liveries. The Pro Honda LCR machine, probably one of the more radically different ones we have seen this year in terms of the team presentations, and well, it is absolutely gorgeous. The number 11 adorned across the front of it, and the leathers as well, of course, on Diogo himself, suiting him down to the ground, bringing his Brazilian flair to the Premier class for 2026. Yeah, you can see the comments coming in here, and they are all hugely supportive of what is a stunning new livery for the LCR Honda team. Diogo, then, we already asked you if you think he could be Rookie of the Year. We see there Deepo Akbar, one of the esport gamers, says it looks cool. Indeed it does. But we already asked you, going back to what I was just saying, do we think Diogo Moreira will be the Rookie of the Year? And the majority of you believe him and that LCR 213V will get the job done against Toprak Razgatlioglu on his Pramac Yamaha this year. So that is going to be such an interesting battle. Diogo Moreira, I feel, is an absolute star in the making, and we can once again hear from Diogo Moreira, who is with our reporter on the ground, Emilio Vasquez.
Well, Diogo, we are here after the team presentation. You have been training a lot during the winter, also with the reference of the class, Marc Marquez. How ready you are for this season?
At the end, I think we are ready to start the season. We make a very good job this winter. We train a lot. I think after Valencia, the last race, we stopped only 1 week. So yeah, I think we are ready to start. And yeah, we train a lot together with Mark and Alex. At the end, it's very good to train with him, and also I learn a lot. And yeah, let's see. But yeah, I think we are ready to start the season.
You just completed the shakedown test. Can you tell us how was it?
Yeah, at the end it was super good. Yeah, I think we make a very good job these 3 days in Malaysia. But yeah, at the end we need to keep working on the new bike and try to understand more the where is the limit. But yeah, I think we are ready to Thailandia.
Finally, Diogo, Brazil is coming back to the MotoGP calendar. How looking forward are you to arrive to that GP with the home fans?
Yeah, for sure. It will be amazing. All the family there, all my friends. So excited to start the Brazilian Grand Prix, and yeah, it will be for sure amazing. We need to learn in Thailandia, try to have more feeling on the bike for Brazil, but yeah, will be amazing for sure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you have it then. Diogo Moreira, a wise head on young shoulders, it has to be said. The third youngest rider on the grid behind Fermin Aldeguer and Pedro Acosta, but the rookie of those 3. He is very wise head on young shoulders, as I said. Seems to be firmly feet on the ground and ready to get to work in 2026. But a very exciting prospect is Morera. Clearly on a wonderful bike. The Moto2 World Champion has loads of potential, and that potential is going to need to be nurtured, and there are few people better to nurture it than the team boss Lucho Cecchinello. Let's take a look at some more of the comments coming in. Morera can adapt super quickly last season in Moto2, and those P6 in the shakedown test was just a taste of what the future of MotoGP is about to see. That comes from Farhan, and as mentioned, he was P6 on the timesheets in the shakedown test. He finished ahead of Toprak Razgatlioglu, but he was 1 second behind Aleix Espargaro. Now Aleix is one of the all-time greats in MotoGP. I think he's 3rd or 4th on the all-time appearance list, so he's plenty of time to make up that 1 second gap as the season progresses. Some more comments coming in. Number 11, Diogo Moreira could finish in the top 10 in the first race. Now that is a brave call on a grid stacked with quality. Can he crack the top 10 on debut? Well, we saw Ayagura do it last season in his first race, so maybe Morera can follow suit. Some more comments coming in there from Brazil with just the fire emoji and the Brazilian flag. So Brazilian fans very keen to see what Morera can do. Very excited for the 2026 MotoGP season. Now, we said that he is a wise head on young shoulders. He is inexperienced in terms of MotoGP, but he will need to lean on the experience, and there's few people better to nurture young talent in the grid, in the paddock, than Lucho Cecchinello. This is what he had to say on his Brazilian rider.
How happy you are with the new package?
We are definitely very happy to welcome Pro Honda as a new title sponsor for the project of Diogo Moreira. We are very excited because working with a rookie like Diogo, that has, everybody know that he has a great talent, very, very good potential. For us, is a matter of being proud and as well to be really focused to not disappoint any expectation from Honda and of course also from the rider.
How is looking the performance of Diogo so far?
Really, really good. I would say that we are quite impressed about his riding style. So far we were really appreciating the way how he's keeping improving. We trust that he will need a little bit time to understand how to ride a MotoGP bike like the top rider of the world, but definitely I believe that he has the talent, he has the potential, and soon we will see him on top.
What will be a realistic goal for Moreira in his only MotoGP season debut?
Of course, the first goal is to be the Rookie of the Year, definitely. Then I believe that Diogo has the potential to finish on the top 10 several races, and if we will be able to improve in the second part of the season, I believe that he can make even better.
Thank you very much, Lucho. We wish you the best for the season.
Thank you.
So interesting words there from Lucho Cecchinello. He's aiming for some top 10 finishes this year for Morera in his debut season. So a rider of enormous potential, Cecchinello mentioned it there, but anyone who has ever seen Diogo race knows that already. He won the Moto2 World Championship in such dramatic fashion, a huge comeback in the second half of the season, and got ahead with 3 races to go, I think it was, and then in the penultimate race in Portimao was sitting in second position and made a very brazen and a very brave overtake on Colin Vire late on to risk it all for the victory, and then put 1 hand and 4 fingers on the trophy, I should say. So that is just about it here from the LCR Honda presentation, and what a presentation it is. We've 2 new fantastic liveries. This season will be fire, so many strong riders. It will be interesting. You took the words right out of my mouth, Jimbo, because it is a field stacked with absolute quality, including our 2 LCR Honda riders. So it all gets underway in Thailand on February 27th. Then we head to Brazil, the USA and Qatar. Keep your diaries marked and free for that date in Brazil. We return to Europe with Jerez, and then we have the Asia Tour, which begins once again in October with Japan, then Indonesia, over to Australia, Malaysia, then once more with 2 final rounds in Portugal and Valencia. What a year it promises to be. It is going to be a spectacular season of racing. Johann Zarco is ready. Diogo Moreira is ready. I hope you are all ready. Up next for us is the Sepang test. This is what you have to wait for.